This is Arno Vigan, and this is about electron subshells being equal to Bose cylinders in two hemispheres, being equal also to a Slater type subshells. This is about the special case of polar subshell S as Gaussian. So when you look at the current electron distributions, you find that a lot of them are longitudinal sets. In part, I map these to the Bose cylinder surface so that the electrons don't want to fall into some axis that's out there. I call it the nucleostatic axis. Now, there are two exceptions to that, and that is the equatorial one, so that the Bose cylinder in 3D also has another one at a different angle as straight up at an equator. So two different angles, which is not addressed here. This poster is about the SS sigma, which is polar. And so I'll explain how a special case where the electrons are is Gaussian and not a fuzzy ball. Now, the Bose cylinder, I calculate as 4 vectors to cause the different parts that he had in his proof of statistical mechanics and quantum. So Bose in 1924 described a cylinder surface that electrons are held away from some imaginary axis or invisible axis, but also needs to add them ×2 for polarity. So I'm putting this into a geometric system. So that is a longitudinal ring or a cylinder end cap of the multiple particle set that has 4 vectors that balance the proton to electron electrostatic inward radial, strong nuclear force outward radial, the weak force is inward axial, and the other electrons causing both statistical mechanics and an electron-electron outward axial. That keeps 2 in each direction in balance that can create this system. Now, the 2 part is really about polarity. So you have 2 forces. You have an attraction to the nucleus, but you also have this 1/XR that seems to create, at least for hydrogen, a repulsion at the Bohr radius for an extra 1/R. As a result, electrons want to be as far away from each other, but still net attracted up to the Bohr radius. That leaves them always wanting 180-degree positions. That describes the 2 polarity found in Bose. Now, the thing about a basic shell, a subshell-s, where you had 2 at the poles, my original thing that says a Bose cylinder doesn't show anything towards the axis because the 2 are already on the axis. So there's no axial attraction, and there's no other electrons, so there's no axial repulsions. As such, this is a radial only, and thereby does not exhibit the Slater behavior, and thereby exhibits only Gaussian, only radial harmonics. So as such, this changes the overall Aufbau rules, which we should separate. So there are longitudinal rings. Those are the standard Boles. Those are Slater type orbitals. They have both radial and axial. And you have equatorial, not a topic of this poster. And then you have subshell S's, which are radial only because they're already along the axis, and those will express as Gaussian type orbitals. Thank you.